So we're checking in today on Kevin, who graduated from our program back in 2018 and has spent the last 6 years in remission.
Yep, thank God for that.
Yes, sir. Kevin, if you could tell everybody out there that's potentially looking into coming into the clinic, what life was like for you whenever you started the program.
Yeah, so it was really, really bad. To be very candid, I had a hernia surgery, and I've been always pretty active, and I was trying to get back active again, whether it was playing golf or just doing things, and I started to get this burning pain down on my feet, on my right foot, and then basically it went to the left foot, and I'd seen all sorts of specialists. Nobody really had a good answer for me. I had a lot of people praying for me, but the frustrating thing was I felt like these drugs were a Band-Aid. Like they weren't the long-term answer to really getting well. And actually my daughter was in Dallas at the time, and somehow she knew Kacee Haggard they played volleyball and basketball together, and she had CRPS, Kacee Haggard, and somehow Olivia ran into her, and then she looked up Dr. K online, and she started looking at this, and she said Kacee was going to come here, and I went to the website and I started reading. I'm like, this is all the stuff I've been telling, the inflammation I've been telling the doctors about. And so I come see Dr. K, and I get on a waiting list, and thank God I got into the program earlier because I was really bad. I mean, there was a point there where I lost my ability to walk. I was on steroids and stuff, but thankfully, I mean, I basically...
You're sleeping with ice on your feet.
Yeah, I had burning pain, to your point, and no one was telling me what to do before I saw you guys, and I didn't know, so I'd literally put my feet, ice packs and stuff on just to try to get the fire out. That's how bad the pain was, and a lot of people might not believe that, but I'm telling you, it is like the worst pain I have ever felt. So now today, I'm still back to normal, and I'm doing great.
No,
6 years later, staying in remission.
Yep.
Got a little pins and needle feeling here and there, but as far as pain.
Yeah, no pain.
No pain.
No.
So in addition to pain, what else did you notice were your symptoms? I remember your feet being red and shiny. Toenail growth was pretty limited. You had no ability to walk.
He didn't have hair on his legs.
No hair.
Yeah,
He lost all the hair on
down by
his
my
legs.
ankle. Yeah. I just my feet would get so red when this burning pain would occur, and of course I had whatever you want to call those sores or whatever
lesions
on my feet, and so I was really in a bad place, and I had a lot of people praying for me, and thankfully this is where I need to be because I got well.
Who knew the answer was in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Yeah, exactly.
not too
and
many
thankfully
miles
I
from
lived. Yeah, thankfully I lived in this area, which was another blessing because I know
if we
people
could
come from
pan down on
Very
his
true.
feet here, because we'll put some pictures up too to look at some before and afters.
Yeah, this
like
is
normal feet.
today, and I played a little golf this morning.
He's got a little sprain on his right big toe. You can see the tape on it there. He did that a couple weeks ago, and I mean, other than just a common injury pain, nothing, right?
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What can you maybe help some of the people out that are watching this that you know maybe are here and they're trying to get a couple tips? Maybe what can we do to improve our results? Do you have some secrets to success that you can share? I know it was 6 years ago, but I'm
You mean for the patients?
Yeah,
kind
for
of
the patients.
afterwards of that.
Yeah, and during the treatment itself too.
Yeah, well, and I think during the treatment, the thing I saw, first of all, everybody here truly wanted to help me, and honestly, some of the other patients, you find yourself bonding with them, which is a good thing. But the thing I noticed was if somebody was being negative, thank God I have my own battles, but I couldn't go to that negative area. I had made up my mind, if God's in this, I'm going to get well, and I'm going to do what it takes to get well. And it might, there were some painful sessions in the therapy, but I was just determined. I didn't want to be on drugs my whole life for pain. I wanted to be set free, is probably the best way to say it. And so I think I bought into the process of, okay, there's all these things, and the there's a couple things. The one thing I'll never forget is the first day of treatment. Dr. K had me lay on the table, and she said, "I'm going to treat your vagus nerve." And I'm like, "Well, what is that?" So she comes back here with this, and I had that burning pain in my feet some, and she said, "What do you feel in your feet?" And I said, "I'm feeling that go out of my right foot." This was like the first day. And you can kind of say, "Oh, really, really?" Well, it didn't end there. I needed a long treatment, but the point is, she kept doing it, and she said, "What do you feel?" And I said, that pain and sensation has just gone out of my foot. Now, it did come back later that day, but what I got a glimpse of was, okay, my body is being receptive to what she's already starting to do in one thing. And she said to me, it's going to take multiple times of this, for example, the vagus nerve treatment, to begin to fix and reprogram, just like the other therapies we did, if you will. And I had a lot of hope that day, because that was day one, and I was going, wow, that I actually got some relief that time that she did it. So that was big, and kind of following up on that, I mean, even today, I come in once a month, just more as a precautionary thing, to have my vagus nerve. Somebody taps it for a few minutes, but it's just more of a, what'd you call it, a minor thing to get
Staying safe.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that?
It's
Exactly.
continuing your care, right?
Yeah,
you don't need it just when you're sick.
Right,
You don't want to get sick.
that's
you know,
right.
So you don't want to feel bad.
But why not
You
do a
wanna
little
keep
minor
feeling
care?
good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
So anyway,
Safeguarding yourself.
yeah.
And you do some other aftercare stuff too. I know you've taken the NMR machine and you use that a couple times a week, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, kind of depending on how you're feeling.
Probably about once a
It's
week.
funny when I see Kevin come in here once a month or so. He says, "Yeah, I was on it the other day. I turned myself to 100 and I walked the stairs, and boy, I feel great. I got to do that more." Or, "Well, I got a wall squat, just cranked it up to 100, got myself in a wall squat, and spent about 5-10 minutes there, Bryce. It was pretty good. I feel pretty good." And so he comes in the next time, he's got the tape on his toe, and he says, "I sprained my toe." He says, "What do I got to do?" So we put him on some instructions at home. He's come back twice, and I mean, it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But the machine, the other thing about that is, as you age, in my case, for example, I don't want to be doing a bunch of heavy weights with my legs and things, but there's some great things you can do, like I know professional athletes have used some of these things to just help their strengthening, their flexibility, their blood flow, those things. And why wouldn't you want to do that if you can take care of yourself right there in your own home?
part of aging is losing muscle. Part of
Yeah.
aging is not being able to do what you did before because of that. So why wouldn't you want to do something to prevent that?
That's
And
right.
It's as simple as just hooking up to a machine for 10-15 minutes a day here and there, and I mean, yeah, it does make a total difference. So
Kevin, whenever you hurt your toe, were you nervous about CRPS being reintroduced into that foot?
I wasn't. I mean, I took a hard fall, but I was not. I was more like, I just feel like I'm well. I mean, and I feel like it got me well, the process that I went through here. I was just more like, okay, now I got to go see Bryce and figure out I got this, I think it's a sprained ligament in my toe. I mean, it's black and blue, and all the black and blue's gone now, but we're working on getting that back to where, played a little golf today. So
your
That's
first
normal.
search in how many years? Was that your first search?
About
in
six.
6
Oh my
years.
gosh.
He wasn't looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I haven't. That's the other great thing. I really haven't had to. I mean, I'm mainly just the thing I dropped in here for is vagus nerve. Now, Dr. Kace's sister, she's been great too. She's real good at looking at blood work and dietary stuff and talking to you
Yeah,
about your
you've been
diet.
staying on that
Yeah,
too.
and I have.
Yeah.
I mean, when something like that happens with your body and it goes down, you kind of, it's pretty scary. And so you start asking yourself, okay, while I'm not in control of everything, I can be in control to take care the best I can. And so I took that as actually a serious wake-up call in my life, because it was so bad and I wanted my life back. I wanted to be able to go back to work. I wanted to be able to go back and play golf. I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to be able to do things again, because I had no life once that
You just had
CRPS.
stress.
Yeah,
You
that's what
couldn't-
I had.
And you weren't able to manage it.
It was bed to chair to therapy. I mean, it was until I got well. It was just
Yeah, I remember the look on your face day one.
Yeah.
You were scared beyond belief. You didn't know if you were gonna
That's right.
live to see the day. You didn't know.
True.
You were lost in a world of pain and didn't have any answers. You had a great doctor that said, "Go for it." Didn't really recommend the clinic, but you told him everything about it.
Yeah, my medical
and he looked
doctor
into it and he said, "That's where you need to be."
That's a good point. My medical doctor was great because he said, "I've tried everything. I've sent you to these specialists." He said, "I think you have this CRPS," is what he told me. And he said, "I honestly don't know what to do for it." And he even said, honestly, he said, in when we train in the medical world as a doctor, they don't teach us much about the central nervous system and this stuff. And so I think that was the other thing probably that went on for me in that process of going to all these doctors was they don't, I love my doctor today if it's something I need that is on that side, if you will, but this is something this CRPS is bad and it's out there, and you want to go, like if you have a heart problem, you go to a heart doctor. You don't go to a general practitioner. You have a CRPS problem, you come here.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of merit in who can help me get well. And if whoever can help me get well, I want to get to them.
Well, the goal is to end your pain,
That's right.
to put you in remission.
That's right.
And to get back to living things, not necessarily to manage around certain aspects of your life or be able to do this if I take this pill or that. I mean,
to be
if
free
we're in
and
that
just,
life, we have a lot of bad days and very
That's
little
right.
good days. And I would say you've probably had a lot of great days and very little bad days.
I have.
And,
that when I look back and think that whatever that was, a 6-month process.
I watched your graduation video this morning, actually.
Oh, you did?
And a couple of things stuck out. Number one, you did the deal in 10 weeks. It took you 10 weeks to go through the entire program. And like the pictures speak for themselves.
Yeah, they do.
To see where you came from to where you were at the end of those 10 weeks. And you had continual time to heal after that. Like you still had scars that aren't on your feet anymore.
That's right.
You still had some calluses and sores that needed to heal over, and that's happened. So I mean, there was still some continual healing that occurred after you had left the clinic. But one thing that really stuck out to me in that was trust the process. We had two sayings in that office. You always said, "Bryce, I'm trusting the process," and I always said, "Kevin, players got to play," and you played.
And coaches got to coach.
You came back at me one day and he said, and he was thinking about it too, I could tell, because I kept telling him, "Players got to play, Kevin, and you're doing a great job playing." I couldn't have it any other way in here. And one day he paused and he said, "Well, Bryce, but coaches got to coach too, so thank you very much." And I still got the plaque that you gave me that says that. I still think about that every day.
Yeah.
But I think the trusting the process is by far the most important thing. Any patient can come in through here and
I think
believe
you're right.
in is that. I mean, you've left your home. You've made plans to come here for a significant chunk of time.
Yep.
You have to trust the process.
You do, and you have to trust the people. And I really mean this because I saw, and I don't remember who the gal was, but she was from Canada. And she actually had 2 things going on and she wasn't getting well. And you guys had to send her home because she had multiple things going on, but you were honest enough to say, "I don't think we can do any more with this because you've got this other stuff going on." You were honest enough to say that. And that was big to me because that brings your credibility up to where I can tell anybody to come over here and feel good about it, And I remember even when you talk about the process, even after I had been done, I remember Dr. K said to me, "You're better, but your central nervous system isn't balanced yet." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I just know it's not balanced." And I guess it's called brainwave. That's what I refer to it as. It may be something different, but it's something that allows you to get you in a relaxed mode and really train your parasympathetic is how I would describe it.
One of the other therapies that
But the bottom line too on that is, so I did that and I got back to where she was right. I wasn't fully balanced, so I got back to balance. But about a year or a year and a half ago, we went ahead and just did a baseline. And overall, I was like, I can't remember who did the baseline, but I was like a 93 or
Wow.
something. And she was looking at me, and she was looking at because we didn't even really do a session. Or we did one. She said, let's just do one session, but she had the baseline, and she said, you got your life back.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, I mean, she was looking at, I said, what do normal? She's like, you're in the 90s. Like I can't talk intelligent about like the emotional side and all of that of your nervous system. But when I saw that, I was so excited because it told me I was moving. Not only did I get healed, but I believe I'm continuing to move in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Well, and this is when you stop me over there and say, well, Bryce, yeah, things are going great. I put the ARP on and I walked around my yard at 100. Well, you wouldn't have been able to do that if things weren't good inside.
That's
So
right. That's right.
I'm proud of where you
So I'm grateful. We were talking about Mike Kern earlier today.
Yeah.
There's a guy who was a patient here who
Hi, Mike.
Hey Mike. we bonded a little bit. I'm trying to think where he's from. It's escaped me, but we bonded and encouraged each other. And I'll never forget the day that it maybe was his second or third day on the ARP with you. And I'm sitting in the lobby out there, probably waiting for a session. And he comes running out the door. And this is a guy that basically couldn't walk. If I remember right, he was hobbling around. Yeah. He runs out there in the street or whatever. I mean, it was just, you had to see it to believe it.
We'll do a video with him.
But that was really cool.
Because he's doing great. He's still in remission. I stay in touch with him.
Yeah. He was one of those guys that wanted to get it done. He knew that coaches coach and players play.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually one of the first things we see is a person feels better and then turn around and they're gone out your door running down the hallway and you're like, wait, come back.
Yeah, it was like a jubilee moment. Do you remember that? You had to go get him.
I remember looking at, it kind of made me mad because he was going to run off his result right away. We needed to go into the next day with that result.
That's awesome.
That's the thing. We're not here to hit a home run day one.
No, but I guess
if we can.
I'm so thankful that for everyone here, from Dr. K to you to Kacee, just all the people, because I never once felt like, I just felt like people here cared, and I just appreciate that. I mean, I've sent a lot of people this way, I think, between Kim and I, and it's because I trust you guys and I trust the process. And so anyway, I just thank you.
Kevin, I appreciate you taking the time for this today. It really means a lot to us. I hope it touches somebody out there.
Yeah, I hope if you need help, you'll at least come visit with Dr. K and the team, because it's worth at least a visit. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But if you're having problems, why wouldn't you try to get help?
Got to have hope, and you got to trust the process.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.